Lanoguard is affordable and yet it's a DIY solution. Why wouldn't you? So it is that time again. We need to get Molly protected on the underside using Lanoguard because winter is here, the salty roads are here. And before we get started, I know you guys love these deals and we only get to run 2 times a year at the moment. So, you know, you can get yourself 15% off either the 2 litre or the 5 litre kit, injector kit that is, using the link. I'll stick it up here and it'll be in the video description too. And do make sure you get on and use that code now because it only runs for 2 weeks from this video's release date. It's designed to be applied coat on coat, so you remember we did it back in March. It's actually still looking really good under there, so I'm going to show you that in a second. But nevertheless, we are here today and we are going to clean it all up and reapply to any areas that look like they need it. So now you join me from the underside of Molly the Pajero, and I'm going to show you just how well the Lanoguard has held up. So obviously this is pre-clean, so there's a lot of mud and things about, but if you look the colour, the floor, along the chassis legs, cross members, it's got this real nice black glossy shine to it still. Everything just needs a clean, but the Lanoguard is holding up extremely well. We come around here to ignore the dirt, but on top of that, that will rub off anyway. But if we do this, that you see here, hopefully you can see this. If I scratch my nail down the chassis like that, it will leave a line. Basically, you see under my nail, disgusting I know, but that is the Lanoguard I've scratched off there. So it just shows how well the coating has held up over all this time. You know, all that off-road action we've seen in the Balkans. It's done an amazing job. We come around here, obviously again ignore the mud, but we switch back again to pre-Lanoguard earlier in the year. You remember how rusty this area was, but now it's literally, other than the bit of mud which rubs off nicely, oh, straight in the face. Oh, how many times does that happen? But yeah, that is looking exceptionally good, to be fair. Even all up in the suspension components, drive shafts, you know, it's all looking lovely without surface rust, which is what we want. A quick look here too at the front, you know, suspension, steering, everything, chassis looking exceptionally well compared to what it once looked like, with you know, not much paint left and a lot of light brown surface rust. There was no deep rust on this truck. We were very lucky. It was extremely solid, but you know, it was that point where it was getting the surface rust, and now you can see everything is just looking nice and shiny black, and that's from back in early March, and we're now in December, so it's incredible really how well that's held up. But yeah, it brings on to another point actually. We will have to use a lot less product going forward because we're only doing a top up in any areas that look like they need it, whereas before, you know, you'd have to do the whole thing using up to 5 litres at a time. But now we're just going to be using a very minimal amount because we're just, you know, correcting anything that needs attention. A couple bits that I can point out that will need reapplying is high impact areas such as the leaf springs. See there's a little bit of rust coming through in between those again. Obviously it's hard to get it all the way in there. Some here, for example, on this is the lower wishbone. It's looking a little bit dry on the bottom here because obviously this, when you're off road, rubs through the mud and rocks and everything. So those real high impact areas. Looks like I've got a volunteer for the cleaning process. Not sure it's going to be much help. Oh. So it's actually got a resistance of up to 3000 psi for jet washing, so you can really get in there and give it a good old clean. Any stubborn areas you can just scrub with a relatively soft brush, getting that deep onset mud off just to help with the jet washing. Giving her a really good old wash underneath, getting onto all the areas I can, a bit of brushing to loosen up any of that stubborn dirt. She needs a bit of time to dry. I'm going to give it 24 hours, see where we are then. And the good thing about Lanoguard is you can do it any time of year, even now in December when it's freezing, horrible, misty out. So it's been 24 hours and yeah, it's not been the best drying conditions, but having a look under there, it's dry enough. Most of the chassis and bits and pieces that I want to top up are dry enough to do, because if there's any little bits of water left, Lanoguard will actually kind of like displace it, push it out, but you really want it as dry as possible, not to be like coating it on a soaking wet chassis or anything like that. But anyway, I filled up my warm bottle of water because we are going to stick the Lanoguard in there because it's freezing today, and it's just going to help with the flow a bit, so you know, stop any clogging up and things like that, just to keep it easier to spray on there. And there. There we have it. It's literally the worst bit of the job, is crawling underneath. So if you can do that, you can do anything. It's my life motto for today. Thank you. This stuff's great too. The Moto grease comes with the kits. It's a lot thicker sort of consistency. But basically that's brilliant for any heavy wearing areas. Remember before, snip back to that video now, where we treated that bit behind the front wheel arch where you get a lot of grit and stones coming up. Obviously likes to rust, so that gives that extra protection. Also if you like your battery terminals, and what I love the most is putting bolts and stuff in it, stop anti-seize. So you know you're taking anything apart, just put a bit of that around the bolts and they will come out easy next time, which is always good. As you know, snap bolts, rusty bolts are not the one, are they? I gotta say actually, one of my favourite parts about Lanoguard in general is that after you've been applying it for a while, you know, Molly, we've had it over a year now, it really starts to like push off that oxidization. So surface rust and things, as you've seen, it's so clean under there now, whereas before there was quite a lot of surface rust here and there. It was not like the deep penetrated rust, but the surface rust, it will push it out and it just kind of dissolves and disappears, which is amazing. But it's not just your undersides and things, you can also do any accessories. Like I just noticed this winch hook, or Christina noticed this winch hook's pretty rusty now, so you can you know, protect that too. That's us done for our pre-winter top up. You know, with Molly, I like to get it done twice a year. I'd say once a year definitely, you get your full coating on originally and then top it up once a year. Or if you're seeing a lot of harsh use like we do with Molly, off-road, mud, slush, snow, whatever it is, you know, you might want to do it twice a year, but that's down to you to decide. And yeah, of course, head on over now, video description, I'll link at the top. You'll get your 15% off either the 2 litre or 5 litre injection kit, which is absolutely awesome, and that's only going to last for 2 weeks from this video's release date, so make sure you head on over there and do it ASAP. And last but not least, we have the Lanoguard 360 injection wand. So you can use this is a new product actually, new design, and you can use this for getting into any of the chassis gaps or anywhere hard to reach area. You know, you can take this out and you can poke it along the chassis rail and then you know, treat all those areas that wouldn't otherwise get treated from the outside. That's what we wanted. Oh, not all over the car though, but what can you do?
Well, it's natural.
Yeah, in that corner, you can do the other corner. You get the idea. And we will be seeing you very soon in the next video, of course. Anyway, have a great week ahead and catch you soon. Bye.